Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca, and today we're going to be going over two more subscriber team reviews, giving them some team advice. And up today we have Imyxcky and Logan Legacy. I know that's not what his name says, but I promise you this is Logan Legacy. First, we're going to get into Imyxcky. Let's get into it. So let's do a quick overview of Imyxcky's team here. On the first left wing, he has the Mark Stone Fantasy Hut card at 92 overall. Then he has a Sean Couturier Hut Fantasy Hockey card at 92 overall as well. Then the 88 Taylor Hall franchise great for when he played for the Windsor Spitfires. Then he has Vili Sarajavi and Duncan Keith, Synergy veteran. For the second line, he has Guy Lafleur, Mario Lemieux. Then he has John LeClair's 94 flashback card, 88 overall. Then he has Bob Bond, Serge Savard for their two bold cards that came out in his second defensive pair. The third line is Mike Gartner and Bobby Clark's bronze icons. Then Elias Pettersson's Winter National card, 87 overall from Sweden. Then Jake Gartner and Doug Bodger's 94 flashback cards. The fourth line has Jordan Kyrie's 94 flashback card, Guy Carbonneau and Mathis Olim. That's from the Winter National, played for the Norwegians. Then his goaltending is Thatcher Demko, Team of the Week 87 overall, and Benjamin Gaudreau, bronze card for those three synergies. He has Brian Fiddler as his coach. So this team has three team synergies activated in Distributor, Spark, and Swarm. We're definitely going to keep those. Then for the player synergies, he has Howitzer, Speedster, and Shutdown. Those might change some, but let's see how we can rework this team to make it a little bit more solid, especially on the back end here. Defensively, his defense is very slow. We want to fix that as much as we can, as well as maybe fill in some spots on his offense to just solidify the team a little bit. But already having three synergies, we want to keep the synergies and just do some upgrades. The original team will be on the right. My team review will be on the left. So on the first line, we're going to keep the forwards the exact same. Stone, Couturier, Hall. You can upgrade this Stone and Couturier to one more overall if you would like, but I don't think it's a must-have at this point in time. Then we're going to take Inaka Barragano from Switzerland's Hut Fantasy Hockey card from the World Juniors. This 85, if you have the two player synergies plus the three team synergies, he's actually a very, very good card. He's only 5'10", which is maybe a little bit of an issue, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Checking is probably his weakest category, even though he still has 88 defensive awareness, 86 shot blocking, 89 stick checking with 99 discipline on this card. But he has an amazing shot, especially his slap shot, 96 slap shot power, 87 slap shot accuracy, and he's an amazing skater. He bumps up from an 85 all the way to an 88.25 adjusted overall whenever you have all these synergies activated. And I think that's somebody that's a big improvement from your defense. He's not a huge improvement over Sarajavi necessarily, but he does make sure that you have the shutdown still and Howitzer, which is important. But I mean, I know you already had those, but it allows you to work some other things to make some other stronger cards in different positions. The Duncan Keith here, obviously he's going to stay there. He's a stronghold to your team. For the second line here, we're going to keep Guy Lafleur, Mario Lemieux, and then we're going to bring in Sean Monahan. This John LeClair is still going to be on the team. He's going to be on the fourth line though. But we're going to bring in Sean Monahan because he has two workhorse, which I think is a very important synergy to get some extra acceleration to some of your players that you'll see to make your defense a little bit better. We're going to upgrade this Bob Bond to Tim Horton. You can keep Bob Bond here, but Bob Bond is super slow compared to this Tim Horton. I mean, either guy's like a blazing fast, but the +3 speed upgrade as well as some other minor upgrades in the defensive awareness and everything is pretty much just a +2 overall card better than what this Bob Bond is, and it's not a huge price difference, so I would just upgrade him to Tim Horton. We're going to have Jake Gardner come from the third defensive pair up to the second defensive pair. Get rid of this Serge Savard. Yes, he has really good synergies, but he's just too slow of a skater for me. 85 speed just doesn't get it done at this point in the game, and that's even with Howitzer and Distributor activated, and he only has 83 acceleration with Spark. That's just not very good. This Jake Gardner, I think, is a very good card when you have the synergies all activated here. 89 speed, 90 acceleration. He'll be more than fine with this Tim Horton. For the third line, we're going to bring in Akil Thomas. He's a little bit on the pricier side. He's about $200K, but this is a very good card, and he has Distributor and Wingman, and this allows you to activate Wingman, which I don't think you had activated on this team. So that's a pretty big deal, in my personal opinion, to get the Wingman activated because it does make the acceleration better in the Mark Stone, which is a huge improvement for somebody like him because he's not the best skater, and he's a permanent card on your team. Looking at this Akil Thomas, he has 91 speed, 95 acceleration, 99 agility, a great shot that's pretty much low 90s except for his slap shot accuracy in 88. Good defensive awareness, stick checking, good hands. It's just a very well-rounded card. He plays at an 89.85 adjusted overall, so very good. Then we're going to upgrade this Bobby Clark to a silver icon, still keep him as your third-line center. But I think this is very important to start upgrading some of these icons. I would upgrade Bobby Clark first, or you could upgrade Mike Gardner if you want, but I think Bobby Clark's the better solution because it allows you a little bit more flexibility with the howitzer. Elias Pettersson's going to stay the exact same in the right wing. I think this is an excellent card, especially with the synergies that you have. Then on the third defensive pair, we have Giannis, Jerome, Moser, and you're going to bring him in just because he has spark on defense, and you need to have spark in this defensive position, and he's way better than this Doug Bodger. This Bodger's way too slow. The Jake Gardner obviously gets the second defensive pair. We're going to bring in Ryan Murray that has workhorse as well as distributor. So Monahan and Murray both have workhorse at 2 points. That's why I brought in this Murray on top of the fact that he's a distributor, which really helps with their acceleration. It's going to make this Murray 93 acceleration, 89 speed. He has great defensive numbers, as you can see. Very good card when you have the synergies activated. Fourth line, because Akil Thomas takes Mike Gardner's spot, we're going to move Mike Gardner down to the fourth line. Upgrade this Guy Carbonneau, allows you wingman, allows you more flexibility in distributor. So Bobby Clark and Guy Carbonneau, probably guys you want to upgrade sooner rather than later. I would work on upgrading these guys because I think you need it. If you don't want to have the Guy Carbonneau and you want to bring in a different guy like a Matt Sundin and upgrade him for the 2 distributor, that's fine, but you will lose the wingman. And I think this wingman will really help the Mark Stone out. We can also talk about it offline if you want for some other suggestions. I just think this is the way to improve your team overall. You already have the synergy, so it's just a matter of working some pieces around to keep those synergies while improving the overalls of the positions that you have. Take this John LeClair, that's your second liner, bring him all the way down to the fourth line. You can put him anywhere in this lineup. All of these 3 right wings are all interchangeable on where you want to put him at in your lineup. I just put John LeClair down here because I think he fit really well with the speedier Mike Gardner and Guy Carbonneau not being so fast, but more of a fourth line, like Goonie line. Because you have 2 guys on the outside that can snipe. Then you have Ben Bounds and Anton Khudobin's team of the week that are going to replace these 2 goaltenders. You need the Ben Bounds, or you could get somebody like Anton Khudobin, Winter National card, which will have the 2 spark, and then you'll just have to get somebody else that has spark and swarm. The Stature Demko is a great goalie, and I can try to figure out a different solution to be able to keep these guys if you want. But you need to get the extra spark for some of the changes that we had to make on the team. And then we're still going to have Brian Fiddler as this 3 distributor. And by doing this, we're just solidifying a lot of the positions that are permanent cards. We want to try to build around your top line some more, right? So you want to make sure that Mark Stone's as good as Mark Stone can be. There is some flexibility with this Guy Lafleur that's going to get upgraded. This Mario Lemieux will eventually get upgraded, so there's upward mobility. We fixed your defense that I thought was pretty horrendous, if I'm being honest. Very slow, especially your bottom 4 defensemen are relatively slow. I mean, Gardner's not too bad of a skater, but the other 3 guys are just atrocious when it comes to speed. We had to fix that. So we're looking at player synergy-wise. We have Howitzer, Speedster, Wingman, Shutdown, and Workhorse. Then we have Distributor, Spark, and Swarm as the team synergy. So we kept your team synergies. And I think that this is a way forward, or at least should give you some ideas on how to kind of adjust your team a little bit. I think you should definitely try to get the wingman activated. I think it's important, though, to keep the 3 team synergies because they make the entire team better. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the team review. If you have any questions or like, hey, man, maybe we can do this or that, you can always direct message me on Discord. I know we've already talked a little bit. So we knocked out Yucky's team. Let's move on to Logan Legacy's team. And he had pretty much the same problem. His defense is very slow, so we're going to definitely upgrade the defense as well as keeping most of the synergies he has, hopefully add a few of them. So let's look at his team real quick. Guy Lafleur, bronze icon. Then he has the Wayne Gretzky bronze icon on the first line with Andrei Svechnikov, which is the Winter National Christmas gift. On the first defensive pair, he has Jonas Halas, Giannis Jerome, Moser, and then he has left wing on the second line, Mario Lemieux, Sean Couturier, Hut Fantasy Hockey card, then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 94 flashback, 89 overall. Then he has Uwe Krump and Mark Howe on his second defensive pair. This is a very slow defensive pair, especially if you don't have Howitzer on Mark Howe. Like, look at how slow this Uwe Krump is. 88 acceleration with 85 speed. The acceleration isn't too bad. I get he's a big body, but 85 speed is very slow. The Mark Howe is only 85 speed as well. That's going to be a defensive pair that people are going to abuse online just because of how slow they are. Then you're looking at the third line here. Ely Tolvanen, Connor Zary, and Alexander Radulov. The Zary and Radulov are both untradeable, so we're going to try to keep them on the team in the rebuild here. And then Larry Murphy is an untradeable card as well. Obviously, you have to build this card through collecting a certain amount of Penguins. And I think it's very important that the Workhorse stays activated for this Larry Murphy to make him a usable card. Then we have Chris Letang paired up with Larry Murphy, but the Letang speedster's not activated. We're going to make sure that gets traded out. On the fourth line, we have Owen Tippett, Joe Sakic, Bronze Icon, and Kirby Dach, which doesn't have any of his synergies activated, so I don't think he's really that great of a card without his synergies activated. I mean, he still has decent speed and everything like that. He's a decent budget card, I guess, but he doesn't add any value to your team when it comes to synergy, so we'll see if he stays or goes. Then for the goaltenders, we have the Silver and Reese Prowl. We're going to have to switch this. And then Brian Fiddler has 3 distributor as the coach. I mean, you can't have bronze goaltenders. Even if you're playing against a computer on Superstar for squad battles, you'll get sniped all day long. So we got to make sure that you have some goaltending as well. Logan's team will be on the right. The review will be on the left, as always. We have Guy Lafleur here on the first line with Wayne Gretzky, Svechnikov. Going to keep that the exact same. The defense is pretty much going to be completely changed up, just so you guys know. We're looking at bringing in Makar. I get him at least up to an 85. I think you could get him as high as you want to get him. He does have shutdown, and I think this overall is a very good defenseman to build, especially if you're hurting on defense a little bit. Then we'll bring in the Jake Muzzin 87 primetime card. I believe he's about 65 to 75K on the market whenever I was looking. There's only a few of them on the market, though. Obviously, primetime cards are a little bit more rare than other cards. But he has shutdown and workhorse, and with this activated as well as the distributor and Spark, he's 92 acceleration, 88 agility, 89 speed, so great skating as well as very good endurance at 95. His shot's not the best, but you're using him as more as a defensive defenseman, especially if you have Cale Makar with him. Great body checking at 95. He has 89 stick checking, 89 defensive awareness, so I think this is a very good card for a good price. On the second line here, we're going to have Mario Lemieux, Sean Couturier stay the exact same. We're going to bring in John LeClaire. We're going to sell this Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. The reason we're going to sell Ryan Nugent-Hopkins right now is because he has some value. I don't think this Magician's that important, especially if you're getting rid of Moser. I don't see the need for it on your team. So might as well sell the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Well, he's worth a decent amount of coins still. This John LeClaire is actually really good and allows you to have Speedster activated, which is pretty important in my personal opinion, especially for the Guy Lafleur. It makes Guy Lafleur even a better card. And then on the second defensive pair, we're going to bring in Cal Foote and Jake Gardner. Cal Foote is a little bit pricier, but I think you're going to need a 2 distributor. Allows you for some flexibility in the rest of your lineup, especially with some of your untradables that do not have team synergies. I think that is important to be stated. Then Jake Gardner is going to come in here as well. I'm very high on this Jake Gardner, actually, for a budget defenseman, in my personal opinion. There's a lot of them on the market. He's under 100K, and when you have shutdown as well as spark and distributor activated, he just has good numbers. He has great checking. He has above average defensive awareness, stick checking, and shot blocking. Then he has good skating. His shot's not terrible. He's a great budget defenseman, in my personal opinion, at this point in the game. I don't think there's too many other people that can really compare with him for like the price value that he is, as long as you have the shutdown activated as well. For the third line forwards here, we have Valtteri Filppula, Connor Zary, and Alexander Radulov. So we're going to keep Zary and Radulov. We're not getting rid of this Tolvanen. He's obviously going to move to the fourth line, as you can kind of see right there. This Filppula, the reason we're bringing him in is because he has a spark and speedster that we need to keep speedster activated, as well as we do need a spark in this position. He's also a relatively decent price card for what you're getting out of him value-wise. On the third defensive pair, we have Larry Murphy and Duncan Keith. Duncan Keith with the synergies activated, 95 acceleration, 91 speed, good shot at 90 slap shot power, 88 slap shot accuracy, great body checking. He has great checking category in general with the defense awareness, shot blocking, stick checking discipline. Really move the puck, almost max passing and puck control. You could honestly move him up anywhere in these defensive pairs. The reason I went with Larry Murphy is because Larry Murphy is probably the slowest skater. You could also switch him with this Gardner and put him with Cal Foote. I just think that this Duncan Keith, actually, I think that's the best move, is to switch him with Gardner. I do think this Duncan Keith is a monster, though, especially to have shutdown and workhorse activated, kind of like the Jake Muzzin here has shutdown and workhorse activated. They're kind of hand in hand. If you get rid of one, you'll probably have to get rid of the other because you're not going to be able to keep those synergies activated. On the fourth line, we have Owen Tippett, Joe Sakic, who's obviously staying there. Tippett was there as well. Ely Tolvanen is going to come in here. and replace this Kirby Doc. I mean, really, it was Filpula that got swapped out for Doc. But I think it's necessary because you need to get the Spark activated and keep it activated as well as fill out at least the Speedster. You need to make sure that Guy Lafleur is as good as he can be. Makes him just a significantly better card. And that's why we had to swap out the Doc for Filpula. It doesn't make any sense if you don't have Howitzer or Wingman to even have this Kirby Doc, in my personal opinion. He is a great budget card. Absolute budget monster if you can get his synergies activated with some decent team synergy. This Tommy and Reese here, they're both out. We're going to bring in Hurdy and Vasilevsky to be your goaltenders. Vasilevsky's a good budget goaltender. It's not too expensive, and he plays very well for his attributes. He has Distributor. The Hurdy has Distributor and Spark, and then he has Swarm. If you're going to build a third team synergy and start swapping out even more pieces, obviously the next best thing to get is going to be Swarm, in my personal opinion. We're going to keep Brian Fiddler as your coach. By doing this, we get Speedster activated. We have Workhorse and Shutdown activated as well. You lose Magician, but honestly, no players on your team really have Magician. I think there's maybe one guy that has it, and that's Joe Sakic. But I don't think it's a big deal if Sakic's your fourth-line center to be working your whole team around to have Magician in the first place. Then we have Distributor and Spark. Good team synergies. Obviously, you had them already, but I think we solidified your defense. Your defense was way too slow to be competitive online or honestly against a computer. I'm sure you have a lot of struggles because they didn't have good defensive awareness. They just were very slow. We showed up the defense wholesale style. Like the whole thing got swapped in and out, and I think your defense is going to be very hard to just skate past. I think they're going to be a lot better, and that was key. That's why we didn't work on the forwards too much. I know you have a decent amount of coins, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't like completely blow your budget out of the water or anything like that, because I want to make sure it's something you can do like today and not tomorrow, because your defense was so slow. So I hope that this helps you out. It gives you kind of a path forward, kind of a guide of how to restructure this team to make sure that you get this defense. The Calfoot is by far the most expensive card we had to switch out, but he's an equal trade for this Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. That's why I did it. That's why we got rid of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, was to give you a few more coins. Your extra coins that you do have are going to have to be used to build this Cale Makar, get the Jake Muzzin, Duncan Keith, the Leclerc, and Filpula, but I think you'll have more than enough coins for that, especially because you already have Tolvanen and Tippett, who are also pretty expensive pieces, but you need them for their 2 Spark right now. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the team, Logan. You can always message me on Discord if you have any more questions. I'm more than willing to help. We'll save it so that Duncan Keith stays in the second spot. I will direct message you your team link so you kind of know what I did, as well as you can look at it. We can talk about it a little bit more if you like. I hope you enjoyed the review. That's going to wrap up the team advice for Yucky and Logan Legacy. I think it really helped out their teams. We solidified their defense on both of their teams, which I think was their biggest weaknesses. Because you need to make sure with the life of the game that you're continuing to upgrade your players without just keeping them stagnant, even though you have the team synergies, because eventually guys are just going to start flying past you. Everyone's getting better players. The skating becomes more and more important because there's going to be a larger gap in between the high-end players and the mid-tier and the low-tier players, or budget players as I like to call them, when it comes to skating speed. Therefore, we fix their defense so they're not getting blown past when they're playing in the rivals games. And hopefully it'll help you with squad battles, because you really need a good defense in squad battles, because the computer likes to shoot from random places, and they score in a lot of greasy goals where it's like rebounds and garbage goals. As always, I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. If you want to have a team review, in the description down below, there is a Discord link. Join the Discord. Then drop your link for your team in the subscriber URL team review channel that's on Discord. That way I can add you to the queue, and that way I can get your team reviewed as soon as it's your turn in the queue. And that's the easiest way. I'll be honest with you, dropping your link on YouTube comments, it literally deletes it, or I have to go and try to find it through like notifications, which does not work out well. I know there's at least 1 or 2 people that probably should have had a review a little bit earlier that originally posted YouTube comments, and I told them to come to the Discord because I can't find their link. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with any of your friends that play NHL 21 so we can continue to grow the channel. You guys have a great day and be safe.